The tablet market has been relatively quiet for the past few years until manufacturers such as Apple, Huawei and Samsung decides to kick things up a notch with the release of their, let's say, the Apple iPad Pro and the Samsung Tab S series, and now the Huawei MatePad series of the tablets. So like 2 or 3 weeks back, I released a video talking about my first impression when I unboxed the Huawei MatePad Pro. Now I believe it's a time for me to share with you guys like what do I think of this tablet alongside with its accessories. Due to the MCO, we observe a surge in demand for tablet devices, whether it is for entertainment or work from home requirements. So this one, the MatePad Pro we have here is the Wi-Fi variant of the MatePad Pro, because recently Huawei just released their MatePad Pro 5G model. We're not going to review that today, but this one comes at 2,399 ringgit Malaysia, and the accessories smart keyboard is 499 ringgit, while the M Pencil is 299 ringgit Malaysia. It is relatively cheap for this price, and that's why a lot of people have been asking how this tablet fares against our daily usage. Now, first thing first is the design. Everything is mounted with magnetic. There are 2 color options available for the MatePad Pro Wi-Fi. So the one we have here is pearl white, and there's another model which is midnight gray. The one with the pearl white has white bezels over here. And interestingly, Huawei has kept the forest green color option exclusively for the 5G model. Not sure why they did that, but that one at least they have some sort of pleather kind of back material to that. Nonetheless, the white model we have here has a great looking 10.8-inch display. Well, I do hope that they actually make black color bezels for the white model, because that will make the screen look like bleeding out to the edges. But narrow bezels like this is looking amazing, but ergonomically speaking, it's not the best to hold without accidentally like touching the screen. Now, the aspect ratio is 16:10. So in terms of the viewing experience and usability, this is way better than any of those 16:9 tablet devices, because from this way you can have more vertical viewing experience from here. Even when you look at in vertical view, it looks more like an A4 paper. So whether it's for entertainment or work, it's still better than that. And at the top left corner over here, we have a hole punch camera to it. Now honestly, I don't mind if the display has a hole punch camera to it or not. Well, as long as it's not right in the middle of the screen over there. Well, the camera inside it is like 8 megapixels, so it's pretty much enough for your Zoom calls or your awkward tablet selfies. I've said that the display is looking amazing, the color is nice, and 10.8-inch for something like this small is amazing. You also have to pair it with a set of nice speakers to complete the whole entertainment requirement experience. So the quad speakers is tuned by Harman Kardon. So the placement is there's 2 on each side. So it's best for your media consumption, because when you listen to it, it gives you a sense of space, or I don't know how to describe it. In simple words, it sounds great for, at least for a tablet this thin. It can easily defeat any of those gaming laptops or any other laptops out there. Now, for the software experience, this is the most asked question. First, I thought like, what kind of Android device life would be without Google Mobile Services, or GMS in short. Truth be told, it is more troublesome than what I have initially thought of. I have all my company shared files, personal files stored inside Google Drive. My photos are backed up to Google Photos. My contact list is on Google Contacts, and my favorite apps are only officially available on Play Store. Well, the list goes on and on and on. But then as I continue to use the Huawei MatePad Pro, I started to realize this is basically something similar to a Chromebook. I mean, most of my commonly used online services are available on browsers. So basically, I can get on the browser, type in go.com, youtube.com, or trello.com to get all my information available. And not to mention that Android tablet, I mean, Android application usually have terrible user experience anyway. The developers, they don't even bother to modify the interface to make use of the massive screen real estate. And they are usually basically a poor direct port over from the mobile version. So at the end of the day, the lack of GMS doesn't really impact that much on the tablet in my use case. Technically, I'm just missing out on the Google Chrome's autofill synchronization. Well, you have all my user ID and password. Well, autofill is a nice thing, right? Then again, your mileage may vary depending on what kind of requirements you have. Oh, by the way, they do have a desktop mode which simulates some sort of Windows desktop kind of interface. You can open the app and they will appear as a mini applet, something like that. If you're not really sure about that, basically something similar like Samsung DeX, but this is more like because they want you to use it like a desktop or tablet or laptops. Yeah, laptops. Still, I personally don't think this is a very good way of using an Android device. Sometimes apps, when you scale it, the size, things just go haywire. And I still prefer my apps to like take out a full screen so that I can concentrate on what I'm doing. That's why I'm taking this as my email replying device, so that I can just concentrate on replying emails and writing articles. And then, of course, speaking of the GMS and things like that, that brings us to the next question. Many have asked us like, where should they get their mobile apps or tablet apps if they don't have Google Play Store? Well, Huawei has an answer for that. HMS, they have this called App Gallery. So there is quite a number of applications they already made available inside the App Gallery over here. So I believe the team behind this whole thing is currently working hard to get more developers on board on the App Gallery, so that let's say the developers can upload their application to App Gallery and users can download from it. So some of the apps is currently not available in it. So users can actually request by adding them into the wish list. While there is no guarantee when will the developer respond, whether they will upload it or not, but of course there is still alternative ways to get your apps through the third-party app stores or manual APK installations. So you should always be aware where you download the APK, because malicious attackers might modify the APK installation package and backdoor into your device. So in other words, I sincerely hope that the HMS team will ramp up their progress so that at least make this App Gallery something equivalent to Google Play Store, and user will have to stop relying on third-party app stores or manual APK installations. I mean, manual installations usually opens up a can of worms that you can't really imagine of. Now, as I said, all is good and dandy. I mean, you can do everything on it, but how about the battery life in it? So, not sure if I actually mentioned this before. I do use this MatePad Pro primarily as my writing machine, replying emails and things like that. Other than that, I also play games on it. Well, to be exact, gacha games like Azurelane. Yeah, the battery life on this device is exceptional, as I managed to squeeze out a whopping 10 hours of screen on time with a mix of browsing as well as gaming on it. It's amazing. I never really thought, somewhere around 7,000 over milliamp battery, that's something else. Let's just leave this aside and talk about the accessories. Now, it is often sold in a package with this smart keyboard as well as the M Pencil. Now, the tablet itself is $2,399. And why they want to get a bundle is because by adding $499 into the set, and Huawei will like give you this, yeah, take this pencil for free. This pencil is like $299. So basically, this is a case and a keyboard set that comes with it. I've been using this case keyboard to type this review, and I don't really have a lot of complaint about it. The keys feels nice and the feedback is nice. Yes, the layout is a bit weird. You don't have escape key or anything, so it's not really a big deal to be exact. And it is powered through wireless charging. As long as you have this tablet dock into this place, I mean, it is technically connected to it with Bluetooth, and just prop it up. It works. There are two different docking methods just to change the viewing angle. While the pencil, it is charged through the wireless charging as well. On top of this over here, I do wish the magnet force over is slightly more stronger, because most of the time like just, well, it happens, right? Then again, I hope they really make a stronger magnet to hold this thing in place. Drawing wise, it is decent. Not to say it is something similar to Wacom, or Wacom to be exact. Those are the industry standards. There's a delay to it. Not that I would say is good enough for anything, but for your note taking, simple sketches, everything should be fine to it. So as for the writing or note taking, the most important thing is that to like simulate something writing on paper. So Samsung has managed to find ways to do the S Pen, that when you write on the glass, it feels similar but not exactly the same as a pen and paper. But something Huawei has to like improve is actually the nib of this thing. What I mean is that this is actually a hard plastic kind of material. So when I write on glass, it feels more like just a plain plastic on glass. It doesn't have any sort of resistance or the coarseness of that kind of pen and paper kind of feel. Something to take note on. Nonetheless, it takes a little bit of time to get used to it, but once you like write on it every single day, I don't think that will be a problem for that. All in all, Huawei makes excellent hardware, and it can clearly be seen on the MatePad Pro. It is a shame that such a great device fell victim to the whole US and China trade war that ended this being GMS-less. So at the end of the day, it really depends on what you really need from your tablet device. The lack of GMS shouldn't be a big deal if you can access to all your services on browsers. So besides that, Huawei is also clearly trying to figure out different ways to mitigate this problem. So they have app gallery, and they also have petal search. My advice is to take extra precautions and make sure to download the APK from the right sources. As for the questions of, well, whether should you get the Wi-Fi model or the 5G model, this is an interesting question. You should ask yourself these three questions. Number one, is there any 5G cellular service nearby your place? Number two, do you really need a dedicated cellular service on your tablet? How about a shared data hotspot from your phone? And number three, do you have 3,299 ringgit to burn for a 5G model, or might as well just get the Wi-Fi model at 2,399? So that's all I want to say about the Wi-Fi model of the Huawei MatePad Pro. Do leave your comment down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.